Yo, yo, yo. This is Ricky Rod, and welcome to this week's episode of Welcome to the Bomb House podcast. Well, this week's guest, you have already heard. You just don't realize it. He's the guy doing the vocal on our intro song. Right here. You hear him? There he is. This is Billy James. And I met him a few years ago, working in the studio, and we became fast friends. This is a real, legit dude. Got a great story, great testimony. Please check it out. You guys have a good one. God bless. Jimmy.
What's up, man?
Welcome to the Bomb House.
Well, thanks.
My man.
How
I missed you.
I missed you, dude.
I'm serious, like the bromance has been suffering.
Yeah.
I feel like we've had so much stuff going on.
Well, we did just have tacos together, so that helps.
Yes, we did. That did help. And we got to hang. That was a good hang.
Yeah.
So we have a very special guest.
Heck yeah, we do.
Now, you have heard this guest's rapping abilities, music abilities, because he did the intro for our podcast.
Boom.
Billy James.
Yeah, welcome.
Now, I think when I contacted you about doing the intro for the podcast,
right,
which you nailed, you killed it. You did so good. I had just watched the movie Black Panther.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Right?
he got inspired.
And yes, I did, because the soundtrack in that movie was so good.
Bang.
Those beats,
Yeah.
the whole movie, they somehow kept those beats in all the scenes. If you go back and listen to that movie. So I got out of that movie. I texted Jason Singleton, my drummer, beat maker. I said, Jason, I need something with this kind of beat for the intro of the podcast. And then I texted you. I was like, Billy, you got to do this.
Yeah.
And then you agreed. And thank you for doing that.
Oh, no problem.
And you nailed it.
It was fun.
That's the number one reason people even listen.
I think that, dude, it's so good. And it's special. It means a lot to me because it's the first thing people hear.
Yeah.
And it's going to be synonymous with our podcast forever, because those lyrics, I have some fun plans for our intros in the future, but those lyrics will always be with this podcast. So I really appreciate that.
Heck yeah.
So Billy, when did I meet you? When did you contact me the first time? It was a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah. I don't even remember.
I don't even know how you got a hold of me. How did you find me? Was it through a mutual pastor or a friend or Victor? I can't remember.
I think you met Vic through me.
Was it? I don't remember how I met you then.
Bro, that's crazy. How do we not know?
I remember. All I know is, okay, now you got to remember, I'm a rock guy.
Yeah.
For years, I produced things that were guitar-driven, rock and roll. We did a lot of worship, and I still think I excel at guitar-driven music. I think that's why my country music stuff always works out.
Now.
How
you were
was it?
speaking, and I had to cut you off because it just came
Where
on
was
my
it?
Rusty and Janelle.
Yeah! Boom.
people,
Rusty and
man.
Jonelle Henderson.
Yeah.
Rusty's been in here working on some new music.
Bro,
The Outpouring is the name of their band.
Yeah.
By the way, yes. Okay, that's awesome connection. And that's
Yes,
a good
sir.
family. I just, their dad, John, posted something on Facebook today that blew my mind. I need to find my phone. Hold on, because this is important.
Really cool little segue there that Rusty is the dude who just he came in and funded my album, my band's album.
That's awesome.
So he's like, people have done it for me. I want to do it for you.
Wow.
That's a good family.
Yeah,
But
they're great, man.
their dad, John, who I go way back with over the years, just their family means a lot to my family. But he posted something. Sorry, it takes me so long to find out. But he posted this the other day. Actually, I don't know. I forwarded it. Boom. Oh, this is awesome.
It was a funny cat.
People
meme.
often say everything happens for a reason. This is true. The reason is usually because of the choices people make. I was like, yo.
Yep.
Yeah.
That punched me in the face.
Yeah, man.
So John Henderson, I don't know if you listen to this, but we love you.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you finish, but
Okay, that's
I
awesome.
had already read it.
So back to me being
sorry.
this rock and roll guy, right? And over the years I've figured out that for me not to be miserable, I need to do different styles of music. That's why I love your music, Jimmy.
Yeah.
And I'm attracted to music that's not the conventional thing.
Right.
Now, conventional music pays the bills. I don't want to say I don't do that stuff.
Sure.
I treat everything the same. I'm maniacally crazy about all styles of music that comes through the studio. So you contacted me about doing rap.
Yeah.
And I think my initial response was like,
Probably not, sir.
I think
Probably not, sir.
I think I was like, let me see if I can actually do it. Right. I think
I think at this time he was checking like with his contacts, like is he?
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
And when they gave me to say, he was like,
I wasn't that.
Nah.
It wasn't that. I was just hesitant that. I think I told you this. Like you were going to have to help me or guide me a little bit because that's not a style of music that I work in every day.
Right,
it's a totally different world.
for sure.
Hip hop production, rap production. It is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
So, and me and you have spent many hours here working on things.
For sure.
And we go and listen to old school records from the 80s and 90s. And we just went through, man, it's just so awesome to listen to the production.
For sure.
From the 80s stuff, and then you hit the Dr. Dre stuff, right? Who basically influenced everything from the 90s on, really. And then, and I just remember one of the first sessions you came in here. You know, at least our workflow, you have the beats made, right?
Yeah.
The beats get made,
Yeah.
and they get brought in, and you sat on the couch and you had a journal and you just started journaling. You just had me play the track. You remember this?
For sure.
Yeah. It was crazy. I was like, okay, cool. So I played the track and he
That's
sit there.
that's super backwards to everything
Yeah,
else,
it's
right?
the exact opposite of what I'm used to.
We always come in and we're like, I have these lyrics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he was working on stuff, and then he'd jump into the tracking room, track a verse and a chorus, and go, oh, okay, you know, and then we'd punch a few things. You remember that?
I remember that exact studio session because we were actually recording for me and Victor's joint project.
Yes,
Crosses or Crowns. That is on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Plug myself right
plug.
there.
Yeah.
But I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that
that's on.
session, and I thought it came out really good. I thought it came out really
Sure.
good,
Yeah.
and I remember at first being like, "Hey, you know, guide me on these mixes."
Right.
You know, I remember, you know, we had some specific references for
Right.
what we were going for,
Yeah.
and then after that, you just started coming back. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah, because like with you not being in this genre for long, or like you know just kind of coming to it, I think that you kind of it's like a blank canvas. Like I'm coming in, I'm not trying to battle. Like, and I'm not saying that it's ever been like that in my situation, but I know situations that you'll go into a producer's world to lay down what you had already done, and then they try to change up stuff. You know what I'm
do
saying?
that to other bands
And like, you know,
all the time.
just because you are professional, you're in that.
Yes,
So,
yes.
So it's really not. I don't have to battle you. You just like, man, tell me what to do. You know what I'm
but
saying?
on the rap world, it was
Right.
I've totally depended on you.
For sure.
And I've always enjoyed our sessions, and I go back and listen to the stuff we've done. Even recently, we did something.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy mixing it. Like I can hear my attitude in the mixing. So from a nerdy standpoint, sonically I can tell you the difference.
Yeah.
If you listen to rap, and really this has been the case for the last 20 years.
For sure.
I could say that genre of music is one of the most honest genres in the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. On the mainstream side and on the Christian side.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, and number two, sonically, it's very, how do I say this? Very loud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's actually as loud as any record, like any
Yes.
metal record. Yeah, it really is. Like,
Yeah.
if you actually pay attention to the volume of just the energy, and I'm talking like the bass, the treble, just the whole mix is like in your face.
Yeah.
Punching you.
Yeah.
Like
for
that's
sure.
the way, and that's what got me off guard.
Yeah.
I think the last 10 years when you listen to most rap, but I feel like maybe in the last couple of years things have changed so much. I'm not
Right.
sure about all of the genres,
Yeah.
and you may have to help me
Okay.
explain the different genres. We'll talk about
right.
that. So, but from a production standpoint, it's very different. It's very different, and it was a challenge. It's still a challenge because it's just not a world that I'm totally, I'm immersed in. But he's like, you're my in between guy.
Yeah.
And I've done a few others since then. It's been fun. I do mostly mixing, and I love it.
Right.
So.
And you just tell them, hey, I got this. I've worked with Billy James. I know what's going on.
Well, when they ask, that world, they'll ask for stuff I've mixed, and I'll send them a link of Billy's stuff, and they're like, boom, you got it.
Yeah.
That's really all it takes, which is cool.
Sure.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
So, Billy, are you originally from Burke County, from this area?
Yeah, man. I actually grew up in Valdese,
North
North Carolina.
Wait, we had another guest.
Listen, man.
Valdese,
Before
Carolina.
you get into it, I was going to go there, bro.
Okay, go ahead.
So, and right down the street from me was this dude that was super cool in the neighborhood named Benton Blunt.
Really?
Wow.
How close did you live to him?
Like literally could throw a rock through the woods and hit his house. Never tried, but I'm
really?
sure.
Does he know you? Have you met him?
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew him.
Benton saved my friend's life one time.
What?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
It wasn't that dramatic, but
you can't just drop that and then walk
say
away.
that and walk away. Like, I need to know this. I'm gonna text him right now.
It was dramatic, but I was being dramatic. But my friend was riding down this humongous hill that we have at a pond in our neighborhood, and my friend was riding down this hill, and his brakes went out, and he went like all the way in the pond, like he flew in the pond, couldn't stop, and just like off in the pond.
We talking like car, skateboard, bicycle?
Bicycle.
What was it?
Yeah, it was a bike.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
okay.
It was a mountain bike.
No brakes on a mountain
And
bike.
he like went off in the hill, and then I had to go get Benton from his house to come like get him
him out?
Him and the bike out. Yeah.
Holy mackerel!
It was so I was
Who
being
would've thought
super
of that?
dramatic, but like,
That's pretty. That's pretty.
So you left him there and went to
Right,
Benton's house.
absolutely. Hey man,
out of the pond.
I'm gonna get you some help, bro. I can't do nothing for you. I can't do nothing for you.
So how
I'm
does,
your size. What am I gonna do?
so how does a kid from Valdese get into the rap game? Like how
It's
was it your
weird,
faith?
man.
Was it
I
your
mean,
faith that got?
No.
It was opposite.
Yeah, it was actually. I mean, I had some really awesome friends growing up, and white and black, and being around my friends and like I don't know, like the experiences I went through, and I always like, even before like I had friends outside of the house, like when I was like 4 or 5 years old, I was always gravitating towards. It's weird. It's weird how it like just kind of called me. Like it's like. I don't really have a huge explanation for how I got started or like where it all came from, because Valdese is not like on the map. Valdese is not anywhere that you would like.
But obviously there was something about the music.
Something about the music that
you.
just super connected to me, and like it grabbed me at like 4 and 5 years old. Like I can remember listening to Tupac lyrics when I was young, like 4, 5, 6 years old. And then he passed away, and then so like I got to listen to his music, the afterbirth of like you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
I mean, I remember feeling that way about the Beatles,
right,
and there were really the Doors was older bands, but I remember that as a kid, that stuff really stuck with me.
So like early '90s hip hop kind of was like where my music style went for.
There couldn't have been a lot of kids at your school listening to
Nah,
hip-hop. I know. What school did you go to?
Went to Valdese Elementary School.
Oh my
bro.
God. There's no way there was anybody listening to Valdese. There was nobody listening to rap there.
Yeah, I can remember this first CD I ever bought was like Candy Rain by Soul For Real.
Oh yeah.
And it was like super poppy, and
Yeah.
but like that was like, and then like from that it was like.
Did you grow up in church? Did your family go to church?
My family went to church on Sundays.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you grew up going to church.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, were you a Christian early on, or did you get saved later on?
I got saved when I was 12 years old at a vacation Bible school.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like that's like everybody's situation. And then like after, I think a bunch of my friends did, and so I was kind of like almost pressured into it. Or
well, for our listeners that aren't from the South, Vacation Bible School is like a free camp.
Yeah.
For a kid, and mom and dad will
typically a day camp.
Yeah, and it lasts a week, right? Yeah. And they do fun stuff at the church. Typically, it's at a church, and mom and dad are like, "Here, Johnny, go to camp."
But really, they're saying, "Go away,
go away." It's a free go away for a week.
Here's my kid.
Like I love that it's at a church, but go away,
go away. So, but you feel you got pressured, is what?
Yeah, well, just like I think it was just like everything else I had been involved in was like I'm on a team or like I'm in a group of people, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so like when they went and, you know, I was just kind of like, okay, well, I guess we're all going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from that like point until I felt like I was actually saved, was like 12 years. I was 12 years old and I ended up getting saved 12 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Really? So you were 24?
Yeah.
Wait, is my math
No.
right? Wait.
Yeah.
In your 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not an uncommon story.
10 years later.
10 years later, but
Sorry, 21.
not an uncommon story from somebody that's grown up in this area,
right,
to be honest.
Yeah.
I think you know, I think if you grow up, you know, especially in a community like this one, you know, that's going to happen, you know, like I think I know for me, I knew early on, you know, but I know I have some friends in ministry now that, you know, really got dedicated later, later on. Yeah. And that's what happened, you know, early 20s.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, man. I was at me and my girlfriend at the time, now is my wife, but me and my girlfriend at the time and my fiance in that time period, she was going to her grandparents' church and I started going with her, and we were going like every Sunday listening to the word, and just kind of like it was starting to click a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then I'm talking like the third or fourth time we went as a couple, like right after we had got married, the youth pastor at that church, his name was Keith, also not the one that's there now, but he actually just came up to me one day. He's like, "Hey man, I seen you around." He's like, "You look like a pretty cool dude. You want to come and hang out with the youth?" I was like,
I
was like,
"You was like, we need somebody. We need volunteers."
Like currently still 1 foot in the church and one in the street, you know, like just wilding out a little bit and just going to Sunday and trying to, you know what I'm saying, ask for forgiveness, or, you know, so I was still kind of playing that game. And so I was like, man, let me think about it. You know, we'll still be around and stuff. Just let me think about it for a little while. I went home and asked my wife, or my girlfriend at the time, or my fiance at the time. I was like, this guy came up to me at church and he was like, "Hey man, you want to come to youth?" And I told her, and she was like, "We should go." And I was like, "What?" Like, she's like, "Yeah, we should go. Like as a couple, we should go." And I was like, "Okay." And so like we were just married, like had just been married, and we went on this youth trip because they were having a youth trip. They were going to camp. And so we
cool.
Went,
so you helped.
So I went as a volunteer at this camp. And man, I'm telling you what, I was there as a counselor, but I was like, I think that was the moment that I got saved.
Man,
it was like, man, because like all week long, man, like, and you don't even realize it. We don't realize it as humans a lot of times, but like, man, if I go spend time with God for a week with no devices or no type
of work and no responsibility, like you grow like so close to God, like
it's
great,
and it's something that you like, you know, like you can't forget, like how close you got to God, and like how you could like hear Him, and like you could like He was directing you, and you felt like, you know, you had purpose. And I went there on this camp, man, and it like changed my life, bro. And like we were up on the top of the hill, like at this worship service at the last day, and like, man, I just felt Him like take
great.
over my life, bro.
I have children.
You know, and it's like
that's awesome.
Yeah, man, and like, for like months, months had went by, because like, I guess we like months went by and I didn't do any music because I was currently doing like.
So were you doing music before that?
I've been doing music since 2007.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean it's been a while. Like I've been doing music, but for the longest time it was just about what you hear on a, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just everything else that you're hearing. Like it's not anything new. It's not anything like outside the box. It was just kind of like Billy James trying to like ride the wave or whatever the case may be. But man, like, so like months went by and I hadn't wrote any music after I got saved, and I was just like, because I felt like I was like I was thinking like, man, I don't even know if I should do this because of how bad it is, and like I kind of like in my mind had just like disregarded the style of music, bro, because of just what it was breeding at the time.
Well, there wasn't a lot in the Christian world, in the rap world, there wasn't a lot. Over the years, even historically, there hasn't been a ton.
Right. And so, like, I mean, in that time,
I don't even remember.
Right.
Gosh, I can't even think. Like, I think there was some in the 90s, but I don't.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. But, like, when I first, and I didn't even really realize that there was a Christian hip-hop, culture, and, like, there's people out there that ride or die with Christian hip-hop. I didn't even realize none of that. I thought, like, hip-hop music was what I hear and, like, what my friends listen to and, like, what I hear on the radio. Like, that's kind of what I felt, that hip-hop was at the time. And so for the longest time, man, I was, like, dealing with this, like, inner struggle of, like, do I write because I want to write, but does God think it's right that I write? The first song I ever did, man, I heard this Damian Marley and Nas did a song together called Road to Zion. And, like, man, I fell in love with the song, and I, like, loved it. And I was like, man, if I could just find, like, an instrumental version of it, I would rip this. And so I found an instrumental version, and what I started penning down was so different from what I left at camp.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, it was, like, so different. And so, like, it's like I didn't curse. I didn't, like, say, I just talked about my relationship with God. I actually wrote the majority of it driving down I-40 on the way to work. Like,
that's awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
cool.
I wrote not like writing it down, but like memorize it enough to where I could get to write it down.
Wow.
And man, like, just like that song and like pretty much in general is just like the beginning of like my story as a Christian. And so
it started with music.
It started with music, man.
That's cool. That's cool. So do you feel like in the Christian rap world versus the mainstream world, is there a quality difference? Do you feel that at all as far as like the quality of what's coming out? Are there things you prefer?
Bro, there is like two sides of, like, to me it's like there's two completely different worlds of hip hop.
Okay.
Like, there's like this lyrical means something, like poetry that speaks to people and like people can relate to, and then there's like this hip hop that like just feels good.
Yeah, I got
it's just whack.
Yeah.
Like
bro.
the pop. Are you saying like the more
No,
pop rap stuff?
I'm talking about like mumble rap where like the words literally, like, if you line them up in a sentence, like,
it doesn't have to.
Mean anything.
It doesn't have to make sense.
It doesn't mean anything. And so, like, you get that a lot. And so, like, a lot of the kids hop on this wave where I don't have to listen to nothing. Like, I just nod my head and this is an awesome song, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
where like
no
the
value.
Where like the thinkers are, they want to be
Challenged. The Rapper fit in there?
That's one of my favorites, bro.
Okay, how does he fit? Because
he is so he is super lyrical.
Okay, so I'm around a lot of young people, through the church, and they're always telling me about stuff they're listening to, and Chance came up a while back, and when I get on my my grind playing video games, I listen to a lot of Chance.
Wow.
And
Ricky's the man.
Yeah, I do. I don't know what it is, but he's got a couple of albums that are very different sounding. Yeah. Right. But
because you want me to be real with you?
Yeah. Because
he got saved.
Really.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, bro. The album he put out before the coloring book was called Acid Rap.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. You're right. It was very trippy sounding.
It was him, like, and he was like, everything was good about him, but the subjects were crazy.
You're
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
It
Off
is,
the wall
it is out there.
But then the one he put out called Coloring Book or something of that nature.
There's some really good stuff on there.
That's like,
there's something.
I can just listen to that.
There's something about that record, but a lot of his records are just his songs that when I just want to just zone out and because the games I play are like, this isn't like 20 minutes. I'll log on for a couple of hours. He's great. He's one of my favorites. He's one of my favorites. So Chances, he's out. He's great.
Right.
And what about some other guys? What are some other guys that have influenced you?
Oh man, I'd be crazy if I didn't get on here and tell like the people that like got me started in hip hop. Like there's there was this group of guys that I was great friends with. Like, we were best friends. We were hanging out pretty much all summer when I was like 17. And these guys were like, hey, you want to get on this song? Because they did music. I was like, yeah, man, I'll get on a song. And I was just playing. I literally was just.
Is this local?
Yeah, man, I was in Drexel at Berrytown.
Really? Who was it? Who were the
my
dudes?
Jeff Von Corpening, his name's J Rock.
Okay.
And then Chris John.
Who
does
Chris.
the beats. Yeah, man. And we were at our friend Kobe's house, and we just we played around with this. They were like doing music, and they just asked me to do a verse on it. So I got on there literally just playing around, and I fell in love with it, man.
Man, that's
it was
great.
It was like
so they were recording. Were they recording? They had like a home studio set up.
Yeah, man, and they really helped me like craft.
Hone your skill.
Yeah, and then my best friend Issa, when me and him ended up hooking up, it just like was like a instant connection, and we like fed off each other, and I felt like he kind of helped me develop a lot of the way that I rhyme.
Yeah.
And the subject topic for sure, like, cause we both kind of found God at the same time.
Man, that's great.
Or God found us.
I love, yeah,
right?
Man. I love that the first thing you say when we say what are your influences are people that.
Oh, yeah,
not
bro.
everybody in the world knows. They're people that you've met,
bro,
that you grew up with.
I listened to more of them in my early stages of hip hop. I listened to more of them than I listened to the radio. I had CDs in the car of just hours and hours and hours of music that we had done together, and
so it was all indie stuff.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
great.
It was all awesome. Indie stuff. But then, like, I listened. I told you Tupac growing up. Jay-Z was one of my biggest. Eminem.
Man, did you see
Andre 3000, Jay-Z, Lauryn Hill?
Did you see the Jay-Z interview with Letterman on Netflix? Have you seen that yet?
The Jay-Z
my next guest.
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. It's called My Next Guest with David Letterman.
I'm slacking.
Do you Netflix?
I do.
I urge you.
Lots.
I urge you to watch that interview.
Just look for the David Letterman with a huge white beard.
Gotcha.
And you'll find
it. It is wow. That Jay-Z interview is fantastic.
He done one not too long ago that was amazing too.
His story, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
From that. And there's another one, the HBO, I can't remember the HBO special. There's an HBO special with Dr. Dre and the dude that produced like the early Tom Petty stuff and the Bruce Springsteen stuff. He works at Apple. I think he just retired from Apple.
I know what you're talking about.
Jimmy Iovine.
Jimmy Iovine.
Yeah, and he he went on to run a label like pretty much all the 90s bands were on, but that documentary was like
it's called the Depart.
The Defiant Ones.
Defiant Ones.
Yes. I watched it 2 times in a row.
It was good.
I felt like I was going to school.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I felt like I was going to school and learning about cuz Dr. Dre did not do a lot of interviews.
Right.
He was notorious for not doing interviews cuz he had a bad situation happen.
For sure.
And then on top of that, in the 90s, there was more anonymity, maybe, like with production and even guitar players. You never really knew what people were doing in the studio and their gear. Like, they purposely hid it.
Right.
He just didn't talk to anybody, and it turns out he just doesn't like talking, period. He didn't even want to talk in the documentary. It's pretty funny. And then Eminem's on there. Yeah. Dude, Eminem is funny. He's funny on there because he just goes off.
He's funny on Instagram, too.
He's funny, but it's, they bring in all these Hollywood types, to talk about Dre and to talk about all the artists that he influenced, And I watched that thing. I probably watched it in total 4 times, but the first time I watched it 2 times in a row because, I felt like I was going to school.
Right.
But, I mean, it is fascinating. But when you said Jay-Z, it got me thinking, you got to promise me you got to watch that.
Yeah, man, Jay-Z was one of my favorites for a long time.
Well, he's a mogul now, man. I mean, it's crazy how big he is.
Yep.
People don't realize, but it is massive.
Yeah.
It is massive.
For sure.
He has built in a massive, I mean, it's a massive business.
Yeah.
For sure.
But, so getting back to when did you first release anything? Or were you collaborating with your friends?
Yeah, I collaborated with my friends on, and I dropped a mixtape called Not Just a Hobby. It was like 14 songs, but it was pretty good stuff.
Is this on? Is it available?
No, bro, don't. Man, he's trying to get like, it's crazy.
I'm just saying.
No, absolutely not. They don't want to find. I mean, they do want to. They don't want to find it because.
Okay. I'm going to interject here. Okay, for those of us who are maybe hip hop impaired, okay, can you explain the difference between an album and a mixtape?
All right, so a lot of times,
that's a good question.
Especially in like before everything was online.
Yeah.
Like in that brief state where like CDs were, your CD sales that you sell is going to be the way that you eat or like whatever.
Yeah.
In that time, I feel like, ask the question again. Sorry.
What album versus mixtape?
Okay. So, so with an album, you are going to do all original music. So that means every bit of your production is original. Every bit of
the beats, everything.
The beats are absolutely.
Okay.
The production is original. The beats, everything about the song is original. It's your words. When you do a mixtape, I can just jump on 15 Lil Wayne beats if I want to.
Okay. I get it.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not going in the stores and it's not going to where, you know what I'm saying? That's how mixtapes got started is because, and like the first thing that I can tell you to go see or to go listen to of mine was a mixtape that me and Victor did that was really good. Still, I like it just as much as my new stuff.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Crosses or Crowns
which is on SoundCloud.
Which is the one album that we have on, or the one mixtape that we have on SoundCloud.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then album is just like, I told you that.
It's all the original stuff.
For sure, it's original. Yeah. All original.
That's cool, man. Because there's a huge underground with that stuff. Because that stuff, I mean, people, if you don't listen to rap music, right? For whatever reason, that's not your style of music. You're not connected.
Yeah.
It has become monstrous. It is the most popular genre. I would say it's arguably the most popular genre of music now.
For sure.
It's what dominates the top of the Billboard.
Yeah.
Is it Drake that has like 50 spots right now, or his entire record is?
Well, I mean, it just
like
came
the
out
singles.
the other day.
Like there's like every song I think is like in the top
to it,
iTunes or something. It's crazy. Like
he just went in the studio. He's like, I'm gonna make 14 singles.
That's basically what it's turned into.
He better do that because he got slaughtered by Pusha T.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he did something pretty interesting. I don't know if I'm a huge gamer, but there's a very popular Fortnite streamer called Ninja, right? And Ninja averages well over 100,000 viewers a day. It's crazy. It's got 10 million subscribers on YouTube, right? And then Drake randomly gets in a game, not randomly, but reaches out to Ninja on Twitter and says, "Hey, man, let me jump in a game with you on Fortnite."
Straight there.
Well, let me tell you, Ninja carries him, right? He gets in with Ninja, and that stream goes up to like, I think, 500,000 viewers.
Wow.
500,000. It broke Twitch. It broke the internet, but broke Twitch. Like, it broke Twitch.
Wow.
And it was really smart because pretty soon after that, it helped promote his record, right?
Yeah.
Like he used, I mean, let's just be honest, he probably used that to promote his record.
Yeah.
But so, it's very important for our audience to understand like the value of rap music in modern day. I mean, it's just, it is monstrous.
Yeah.
It is monstrous. It is huge.
Yeah, man. And it's exactly what you give it to. I mean, like there's a million people out there that's trying to do the exact same thing, and then there's like a handful of artists that are on the radio that are, in my opinion, speaking to the world, right? Doing something positive. You know?
So, what do you think of like Lecrae?
That's one of my.
He's
huge
like
influences
considered a top
too.
notch.
Yeah, he's top notch dude.
He seems like he bounces between the mainstream and the Christian world really easy.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, and the thing about that is, a lot of people see him doing that as like betrayal, like they hate him like LeBron. Like,
really?
Yeah, but just because
you mean the Christian community being negative about somebody online? Come on,
man.
Really? I am so surprised. Sarcasm.
Yes, sarcasm, bro.
I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah,
I've said this publicly many times, but
yeah, man. So they like tried to hang him over, going, it's not even
like who's he working with? Just everybody. It doesn't matter.
He just did a whole album with Zaytoven, which is like one of the biggest producers.
Really?
In hip hop, like
that's awesome.
Almost created the trap culture, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, the trap beats are the style of beats. It's the style of beats. If you listen to, or if you go watch Black Panther,
right?
Yeah, it's all over.
Yeah, man. And it's like, well, I mean, that's like, I don't know, that's kind of more like West Coast.
But it is West Coast because that's who produced it.
Yeah, for sure. But like, yeah, with that, I mean, it's like, I mean, there's a ton of different.
But good for him though. Like he gets to work with. Sure. That caliber of talent.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And he has a record label that is full of Christian artists.
Is it his label?
Or Reach Records.
He owns it?
Yeah.
Son of
I think, there's some part owners probably.
I'm sure. But it's his thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
So he controls it as far as probably what comes out.
And really, man, like, I mean, a lot of people, like even other like Christian hip hop artists really ain't into him anymore, but just because of like him going mainstream, but like, man, he's trying to take it to the masses.
Let me say, what is the idea that people have of going mainstream?
Well,
because what it seems like to me is just doing a craft.
I'm going to speak for every Christian in a white church. Okay, I want my Christian rappers to only perform at youth groups.
Oh yeah, bro.
And
for love offering
for the Graham family, and that's it. That's it. And they better open up for Hillsong, or Elevation Worship, or that's it.
This runs the risk of like.
That's all I want to see my Christian rap artists to do.
That's what they did to him, man.
Yeah, and we run the risk of like dissing the church, and that's not what we're trying to
say.
We're
not trying to say that.
But
that's what the business. But that's what the Christian business does to the Christian artist.
Yeah, man.
Well, I think that's what the Christian business does to Christian people.
Yes.
Because it almost says the only thing that you're allowed to ingest
is this
is something that is
only
dealing with scripture, gospel. And don't get me wrong, the gospel is everything to those of us who belong to it. But for someone to do their craft so well that people want to listen to their message, but their message doesn't conform to the world's ideas of what's important to talk about. Right. Isn't that like, that's the gospel winning the big prize?
Right.
You know?
And that's, man, I'm like, I'll be honest with you, man. Like when I was riding to my house one day, and a Lecrae song that I knew because I purchased his album like a day before, like I was like ready for it to come out on Anomaly. I think it was Anomaly. Mm-hmm. But like when it came out, like I had it before, and then like 2 days later, I'm driving home and a song came on the radio. Man, I almost cried. Yeah, like it was like emotional for me, bro. Yeah. Okay. Because Christian hip hop hasn't touched the air until Lecrae did it.
And then he hit. God, that's awesome.
Right. That's right.
I mean, if it had, it was disguised.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
you're right.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell me that Kanye West's Jesus Walks was a Christian song.
Well,
like, you know what I'm saying?
No, you can't.
You know?
No, and we're not going to.
Nah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And but yeah, that's what happens to artists ultimately.
Yeah,
right, you know, man. And it is a huge. Oh, I have a big pet peeve about.
Bro,
music.
he's going in studios that every rapper that you've ever heard of in Atlanta has been to, and spending a week there. You don't think like a real man of God going in a situation like that can really. Change the environment.
I love
like,
that.
Really,
man. I love that. Like, and it's great.
To me, that's a win.
It's absolutely. It's 100% a win, and that's why we should publicly support him and other Christian artists that are wanting to do that,
or other Christians who are artists, who don't necessarily peddle Christian maybe lyrics or ideals. But they're living that lifestyle well, and they're not knocking it down with what they're saying.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, I'm in that boat right now. Right. I'm a worship pastor playing songs that are about ghosts and stuff. But
what did you call it? You call it Gothic. What do you call it?
Southern Gothic.
Yeah, you know? Southern Gothic.
Like Southern Gothic.
Which I love that, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
But we're not going out there like talking about stuff that Christians shouldn't talk about. You know.
Yeah. Well, I can personally say that when I was recording and I started recording bands, it was the majority. It was Christians. You know, it was Christian music, and I will always produce Christian music, but there were other people that I worked with that weren't believers, and I had to.
And they probably hated you for it.
I've gotten some things said to me over the years, but that stuff, it doesn't even bother me.
Right. 5 listeners just hit pause.
It's very
unsubscribed.
It just doesn't bother me.
Gotcha.
I learned a long time ago that I'm not going to be a Billy Graham or a huge preacher that's going to preach to millions.
I don't know. We looking for the next Billy Graham, bro.
Yeah, but
it might be you.
But
it might be you.
But I think, I don't know. I think I would get in trouble really fast.
Billy Sunday, Zig Ziglar, Billy Graham,
I am not controversial enough on social media. Gotcha. I will never be that guy. But I think our influence needs to be, local with our family and our friends. And my thinking was, hey, if I'm going to work with a dude that may not even be a believer, he can just see me how I live with my family and how just my business, how I do my work.
Yep.
But
that's most people's testimony right there.
Yeah,
and
that's what's important.
But I digress.
So back to Lecrae. He's in the mainstream world pretty much now. Could you say that?
I would say so. To me personally, though, he's not even the best rapper on his label.
Really? He's the best guy on his label. Let me look this up.
KB for sure.
We're going to send this to Lecrae right afterwards.
Oh, man, don't do that.
He won't care.
No,
he may know.
I might. He probably does.
He probably does. So KB.
Yeah, because he's like...
That's the guy.
Mm-hmm. And Andy Mineo is good, too.
I have friends of mine that do a lot of youth events with him.
Bro, why... Put me on, son. Hey,
listen, I'm learning.
Right. But KB is just like, he's one of those dudes. He came in a Christian rapper, and he's a Christian rapper. You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't.
He just
that's his thing.
But he's so his style is different from everybody's. Like he actually is like musically inclined and really understands music. I think
that's
rad.
I think Lecrae does too, but I think that his style fits me more.
Okay.
KB's.
Yeah. Well, see that leads me into this. Like, when you create your music, this might be going on a different path.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
When you create your music, do you have instruments that you play, or do you have somebody that helps you out?
No. See, so I actually sing in my church and play the guitar and the drums.
Okay.
Like a little bit. Like I play the drums for my youth group at church. And,
sure.
And so I can play some instruments, but the way that I've always done it is like, man, I got a producer. I got a dude that produces beats, and he's great at it. And so, like, if I hear something that's, like, really, really catchy, like, I'll send him this as, like, a reference.
Yeah.
And that way I get back something that gives me that same vibe and that same feel and that same tempo. And
I got you.
So that's kind of how I work.
They do it in numbers, like 16 bars, 8 bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
You're giving out deep secrets, brother.
I'm just letting him know.
This is just
music.
This is the theory.
Music speak. It's bars, man. If you pay attention, it's bars.
Yeah. That's why they call it bars.
Yeah.
That's literally why they call
That's
it
exactly
bars.
why they say it.
Yeah.
But I love that. The thing I like about your style, though, I think I've watched you grow the last couple of years, is that you're trying some new things.
Yeah.
Right? Would you say the last tune we finished up, which I don't know what you're going to do with it yet.
Yeah.
That's different for you. Would
you
say,
bro? And I'm scared a little bit.
It's good, man. I can't wait for people to hear it.
Because, like, man, my following isn't huge. It isn't huge, but the people that follow it, like, love it. And so, like, I want to give them, like,
build,
good, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, you got to build, right?
Yeah.
You got to build something, and one thing I do love about you, your first impression with me was you have really cool tattoos, and you have a swagger.
It's the hook, bro.
You have a swagger.
Yeah,
and I felt like. I think we may have even gone out to Mountain Burrito early on in one of our sessions. We just instantly clicked.
Yeah, for sure.
And
you didn't take somebody to Mountain Burrito.
I literally was like, man, like if Ricky's super busy, I know he's still gonna go eat at Mountain Burrito. Let me trap him. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me get him in the parking lot.
But we did. But I think what I just think when I let people listen to your stuff, they go, "Man, that's from your town."
Right.
You know, I'm like, I know it's really good.
Send it to 10 of your friends,
and people need to hear it. And people need to hear it, and that's why we talked about this earlier. But Spotify right now is your main place, right?
Yeah, Spotify. Well, yeah, Spotify is what's giving me the plays, but like, I mean, it's on Apple Music and
the whole thing under Billy James.
Yeah, Billy James, and then my first project was called Captive, the EP, and it was like
did a cool video for that,
bro. I did
that video is great. It's on YouTube.
Brigham McNeely actually shot that for me, and
you know what? Have you looked up his Facebook page recently?
I haven't, bro.
He is killing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's killing it.
He's like he's like my Facebook preacher,
bro. He'll give you a minute, bro.
I need to get him on here.
He'll give you a minute.
I run into him. We eat at the same restaurant.
Yeah, it's better in person.
He's an actor. He's an actor.
I love that dude.
Well, he was an actor. I don't know if he's acting right now.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he's still acting. But he might not be. I don't know.
But he did that. He shot and produced that video for you.
Yeah, he
right?
did.
And it's a very good video. And it got put on a playlist, right, on YouTube?
Yeah, it got put on a few playlists, but the one was like, it was some kind of Christian hip hop forum on Facebook, and then one on YouTube.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So when you got word of that, did you like
flip out?
Yeah.
Nah. Cause bro, like, man, I have a problem with setting my expectations super high.
Yeah.
So like when I dropped it at 12 o'clock, I was expecting at 1 o'clock we go like for 4,000 views or something. You know what I'm saying? Because like,
I wish it worked
but you don't understand. But like, I mean, like I put a lot into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I put a lot into it, so I'm expecting like. Yeah. It's a boom. And then like all of a sudden, like, you know, it was like 100 in that hour instead of like thousands that I wanted. And you know, I mean, it's like 4,000 views.
It takes time. It takes time. But, you know, for if, you know, you have a family, you know, and you're here and you're doing the family thing and you're doing the right stuff and you're doing your music and you're doing it the right way, because it's hard. Yeah. You know, we just had Chip Latham on. He used to, you know, he managed some really big bands.
Yes.
And in his interview, I learned a lot about promoting online and how, you know, it's insane the amount of, you know, things I learned from that. But the bottom line is, though, you've got, you know, if that's something you're looking at pursuing and you're the right age, I mean, what towns support that? Is it Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta's like
it's the hub, right?
Yeah, it's the hub.
It's the hub. I mean, it's Charlotte, the town that gave us Justin Bieber,
right?
I think, you know.
He said, I think.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was born in Canada.
Yeah, but whatever his music, whatever the music that was initially released came out.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
It was all produced from Atlanta guys.
Yeah, from Usher.
Yeah,
Usher got him started.
Yeah,
but nah, it was what did you ask me?
No,
tripping.
What I was getting to was
tripping, dog.
Like, in order to do what you're doing, right? You like, what town is going to support you moving to do it?
So like we said, Atlanta's the hub, but I think that Charlotte has a healthy.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Charlotte. Yeah.
I did not. I just learned that.
Yeah. I don't. But like the Christian hip hop culture is like.
I don't even know where that is.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Like, because there's not there's not like a place that supports it more. But I think Atlanta's probably doing it.
It's not in Nashville.
Just because Reach Records is in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like, that's probably where it's popping the most.
So I have an obvious question.
Okay.
Why don't you send them some of your stuff?
Have
you tried?
Yeah, I don't really have the connection to do that.
Well, I will pray for that.
Yeah, pray for that connection.
I can probably,
if it's reaching your ears out there and you can get me the plug. I don't even want to sign with these dudes. I don't
know anybody on that side of the world, but I can't imagine it would take me more than 2 text messages.
Wow, bro. Because he knows it like that, bro.
We used to have, 6 or 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. And now we have 2 degrees of Ricky Rod.
That's right.
I don't think it would take me that.
Right.
I'll have figured that out.
2 degrees.
But
2 texts.
But seriously though, not that it matters anything. I think it's always in the quality. I think if you put out good quality things and you're doing the right things, you'll get the notice.
Right.
Know?
Yeah. And that's the thing about I honestly, between us and everybody listening to the podcast, I think that artistically and like my craft, I feel like is on that level.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
Yeah, so I think that it's just a matter of the people hearing it, and like getting to the level of like where you can't reach anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
All my people know.
Exactly.
I was wanting y'all's
well,
people
that's
to
one
know.
of the reasons I wanted you on here.
Yeah.
Number one, because I think people need to meet Billy James. Number one.
Yep.
And and they may not realize what they were listening to on the intro of this podcast, but they get to meet the guy behind that, and hopefully I want them to go find your music, and I want to make sure to follow up with you later on.
Oh yeah,
and all that good stuff.
For sure.
Has there been any challenges you've run into living in Morganton or in Burke County that maybe just
so bad?
He's not
so like
you finish.
You have no idea, bro.
I want to know.
So like, and I love these people. They probably great Christian folks. Like I love them to death.
Oh, I'm gonna love this sentence. I can't.
Man, nah, but I booked a show in Statesville.
Okay.
Right down the road.
Yep, 45 minutes.
45
Just
minutes.
don't say who it is. Unless,
okay.
We have to be careful.
Because there's two.
Okay.
That's good to know because he was going to do it twice.
Are you saying there's two douchebags?
Nah, there's two different locations in Statesville, but one of them hit me up in they hit me up in an email after we had booked the show, and they were like, "Man, I was setting up some stuff on Reverb Nation," and I ain't heard that come out of anybody's mouth in a while. I said, "Reverb Nation." She said, "Is this you?" And sent me a link to music I put out in like 2011.
Oh
gosh!
And I was like, yes, ma'am, it is me. I was like, but like, I was doing music before I was saved, and I was like, I didn't even realize that existed because the group that I was with, probably,
exactly,
they made that, and so and then like I really hadn't got a contact back, so I don't know if she. And I was like, and this is just part of my testimony, and I was like, proof that God can change a man. Mm-hmm. This is what I said to her in a text, and then I really hadn't got a response back.
She
so
never
I actually
responded back.
I emailed her today and said, hey,
nothing, huh?
Ooh, we still on.
Hey, well, let me tell you,
I mean, bro, if you
vetted.
crush somebody, if they tell you something like that, and you don't,
years ago, I got started playing in indie Christian bands, and then started my own band, and then later on into my band, this was 4-Man Furnace, we would play secular venues. Like we would go down to Atlanta, play Christian venues, secular venues. That happened. It was a common thing.
Yeah.
Well, a promoter found out about that in Charlotte, right? And we used to play a lot of, we did everything, man, back in those days, but it was a lot of Christian stuff too.
Yeah.
And he found out that we were playing mainstream clubs and basically excommunicated us from playing anything in that area. And it ended up affecting us in Carowinds too. That was back in the day when Carowinds was like
the pinnacle.
That was the pinnacle thing, and we were getting booked for that stuff.
I think that's still pretty popping, don't they? Do that?
It is
Christian
Music Day.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was amazing because you could go see. This was Carmen, Carmen, and then but the same day, Tooth and Nail bands would play during the day, so you would go see all these killer like modern metal bands that were unbelievable, unfreaking Stave Saker, Project 86, I think. I mean, there's just so many good bands.
Right,
I mean, we got excommunicated.
Blackballed.
Yeah, because we were playing mainstream clubs.
Dude,
and we were like, cool.
We got
no problem.
We got blackballed, and all we ever did was play churches.
Wow.
My band before got blackballed from like a harder core church than another church.
You're not as hardcore.
And I say that tongue in cheek because I used to be that guy too. I used to think, how can you live this double life?
Right.
When in reality, it was actually just living a full life. So,
but Billy, you
in this
gotta
area,
let that stuff. Yeah, you gotta let it roll off your back, man.
Sure, but in this area, I have a lot of churches that support me and have me out for stuff. But like, it's like I don't know if they're scared or like, what would the deacon say if we brought a Christian?
I think some of it is that
for the youth that only listen to rap music.
And I think the generation.
Why would we do that?
I think there's a generation of youth pastors that aren't even working anymore. I think a lot of churches have gotten rid of a traditional youth pastor.
Model,
or the youth pastor model, and then they don't as a result, there's no events anymore.
Right.
I don't feel like there's a lot of music that gets booked at any church anymore.
Yeah.
Because when churches were switching over to contemporary, what we would call modern music, they would book 7 Miles all the time. I don't think that market would even exist anymore.
Right.
No.
For
I
7 Miles.
I remember that we came on the heels of you guys.
Yeah.
So we were hitting that transition, and it felt like a brick wall every time.
So it's not,
I called a
I don't
couple
think it's
places,
you.
and they were like, "Well, we have a band."
Oh.
It's like, well, yeah, but you don't have us.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but so you can't take that personally.
No,
Like,
I don't, and I know that. Like,
but you're right. I don't think they sense of value. In
I know
at
for
all.
a fact that if I wanted, like, if there wasn't anything that, like, if God hadn't really had changed me, I know for a fact I could go make money in clubs.
Sure. Oh yeah.
I know I could.
I have many friends that actually do.
and
they
did
cover bands and go make mad cash.
and did back in the. Yeah, we did clubs all the time. I know I could now, but I would man.
Yeah, but you're not going to do that now. Like
Never.
now it's more about
Bro.
So that's a tough. Really, it is a tough situation because you're just not going to find a place locally that's really going to do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, like, maybe eventually somebody will do. We used to have promoters that would do some big shows here, but it would be nice to see somebody step up and maybe you don't have to do a huge event. You don't need to go spend $100,000 and book, Mercy Me and do all this crazy stuff. Even if places took a chance and did book a few things and did some events.
Yeah, like I've done the Comma before, and that
Yeah.
was a really good deal. We did it with JJ Weeks. And that was a good, but like I feel
they're
like
doing a lot better with
be-
the Comma, by
to
the
be-
way.
yeah.
I think so.
for sure. That's my dude, Jim Smith. That's
Is
him.
he?
Yeah.
I don't know him.
Jim was one of the.
Yeah, he was on his.
the judges.
I think we was talking on
Okay,
Facebook.
well,
today.
I don't know him personally, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they're doing a very good job with the Comma
Yeah, man,
compared to what it used to be.
he's killing it.
They're doing that Red, White, and Bluegrass festival right
Yeah.
now. So
All those campers are camping a mile from here, man.
Wow.
I got mad today because there
You
was
might
like a
fall.
line.
You might find one come through the woods on you.
you might.
My Jack Russell will get them.
You might.
Hey, he about bit me.
Yes, he did actually, Marino.
that's
That
my
mess. But but yeah, you're right. There is a lack of places to play locally.
I think it's just a matter of like being consistent in another city. Like, I mean, I'm cool with you.
I know you've gone up to Asheville. I know you've done some stuff up there.
I just me and my brother Issa just did a show in Asheville, but I've done surrounding places. But like I don't think that it's consistent around here. Like there's so many churches, you would think like, golly, there's so many churches. But like,
I just think there's a generation of people at church now that don't think about investing into music that way anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you can almost tell with their worship music.
On the other hand, we've been given some really rad tools that Facebook Live or Instagram.
It's great.
Live video. That stuff right there.
You got your audience right there if you know how to use it.
Rooted is learning to use it every Wednesday consistently, and it's taken us about a half year to
That's
get.
an interesting idea,
Hey,
Billy.
I knew y'all was gonna go here, and this is like crazy because I agree with you 100%, but I'm just trash at social media. I'm terrible at it. Like
You need to
I'm
find
like the
somebody
worst,
to help you.
bro. I'm the worst.
Is your wife
I'm
good
like,
with it?
Yeah, she's great.
Well, have her help you.
I know, but she don't really. I mean, she's like in nursing school and like.
Are you saying she's busy trying to be your sugar mama?
Basically, and I love her to death. Like basically.
Yeah.
It's all good, sugar mama. It's all good.
Oh man, she gonna love that. She gonna love that.
There's our quote for the week.
I think we have
she
our
gonna
title.
love that.
The one about the sugar mama.
The one about the sugar mama.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, I don't even know what
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But listen, man, I love you.
Love you too,
and I'm
bro.
glad you came to hang out with us.
Yes, sir.
I think our audience learned a lot. I know I did.
Yeah, I'm stoked to see.
Hey, man, if you
How
want to get in
expand.
touch with me, you just
How does our audience get a hold of you?
It's Billy. It's BillyJames.com. www.itsbillyjames.com. There's contact information if you want to get in touch with me or book me or just let me come talk to your kids. Like, you know,
so I mean, that's cool, man. You can go minister,
bro. I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to do what the Lord leads me to do.
I can tell our audience with full, 100% confidence that you're 100% real.
Yeah.
You're a good dude, and you're doing it right. And I think it'll be. Yeah. I think the fruit of what you're sowing now, the seed, it will bear. It will bear soon. It's gonna be fun to watch that happen.
Yeah, for sure.
So our listeners don't need to just look for gigs that you're going to be playing. They need to book gigs.
Yeah, book my gigs. Yeah. I mean, like
double threat though. If you can speak at the church.
Hey, Jamie Torres Ministries is.
Dude, I just ran into him. That's my toasted and rolled,
bro. I know you was trying to wrap it up, but Jamie Torres Ministries.
We're good.
I'm a board member on there, and like we're really out here in the streets.
I think Jamie would be interesting on the podcast. Don't you think?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
We out here in these streets.
I'll reach out to him. I just saw him Saturday. Yeah. We went to get ice cream.
Yeah,
because I like that
toasted
dude.
And rolled.
Toasted and rolled. That's my guy.
It is good.
I love him to death.
That's a good family.
He comes to Bible. He comes to Jamie's Bible studies. Yeah.
Well, we're totally gonna derail this conversation before Jimmy gets to his questions.
Ice cream, man.
We have this ice cream spot now that just opened in Morganton, and I can't even explain it. I was trying to explain it to Jimmy, like it's like a frozen frying pan, and they put the cream on it, and then they do their thing, and in a few minutes,
the Swedish chef it.
Yeah, in a few minutes, you have like these perfectly rolled things of ice cream, and I had a monkey business today, which is Nutella and banana, which is my favorite.
Good Lord!
But and they were like, "Listen, y'all may be our best customers." I'm like, "Listen, we live less than a mile away, and it's the summer. We're gonna probably be here every day."
I'm going by Mountain Burrito
and then we go to Toasted and Rolled
to the Toasted and Rolled.
But they have a bakery too, right? They have a bakery, and they get donuts from this place called Bob Donuts, which is out of Marion, North Carolina. Lord. I have never had a Bob's donut,
right?
But this was the one they built the donut festival around, right?
Yeah, apparently so.
Marion, North Carolina.
Yes,
donut festival.
And let me tell you, dude, we got a stuffed white cream donut. Is what it's called, and that sucker is like a pound.
Is there a gate to heaven in the back?
It is not like a light Krispy Kreme filled donut. It's like it feels 4 times heavier than a stuffed donut.
It's a sugar bagel.
Because that's real.
We got the apple. I can't remember what they call it. It's a different name, but it's basically like apple ugly. I don't know what it's called, but we got that today. We got the white cream. I've tried the zebra. I've tried them all, man. And they have these Bob donuts, and then they're baking fresh stuff there. Tres leches, which is an unbelievable, Hispanic cake, and
is that 3 chocolates?
Yeah, the 3 milks.
Man.
3 milks.
I'm working on it, bro.
It's the 3 milks, but it is. I cannot believe that place is so close to us. And it's a good family. We've known that family for a lot of years, but holy macaroni!
So that's this episode's local business plug.
It is. Sorry. Well, if I get excited about something, then we're going to be talking about it. It is what it is, and we've been rocking. Me and Tyson, we were like, my wife, I was like, okay, we can only come here twice a week, not every day. I got to watch the dad bod.
We got to watch the dad bod. We can't let these people think we're really, really weird.
I think they already think I'm really weird. That's over.
They're here every day.
In fact, they're
pretty much paying our electric bill.
You know what's funny? He goes, you know your daughter's here every day too.
Like at different times.
Yes, she's going different times than we are.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second, we're better than her.
Yeah. Man.
But anyway, I ran into Jamie there Saturday, and it was cool to see him. So he's got a great story too.
Yes, sir, he does.
So you do a lot of stuff with his ministry too.
Yeah,
it's a Bible study.
It's a Bible. I mean, like, so real quick, we started this. Like 5 years ago, we started this. My buddy Victor, which I do music with, Vic. He invited me to come to his house to do a Bible study with this guy because me and him were like at the same point in our like relationship with Christ. And so he called me and told me to come over there or whatever. So I came. It was like four dudes in a living room. We just listened to the word, talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Next week, same time. Okay, cool. Next week it was like 10 people. And then the next week it was like 30 people.
Wow.
And then the next week it was standing room only. And then we had to move out the house because it was like full.
Yeah.
Jamie's a good guy.
Man,
He's a good dude. I think we need to have him on. He's got a heck of a story. Holy macaroni.
It's crazy, man.
He's got a good one. So we know where to get your information.
Absolutely.
Right? Your website.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy.
Bombs away.
Do it. Ask the questions.
Boop, boop, boop.
We should have him.
We got to have that one every time now. Okay. Let me ask you this first then. You get to spend 15 minutes just picking the brain of anybody, living or dead.
Living or dead?
Living or dead. But let's make it
I'm going to give you...
living or dead in the last half century. So 50 years. They've been alive.
Living or dead in the last 50 years. I want to say like like Billy Graham.
Okay.
Ooh,
and the reason I say Billy Graham is because, man, he's seen so much coming through. Like man, his life is such a like testimony to God. Like,
yeah,
because like, man, this dude came through and did like the march with Martin Luther King. Like,
yeah.
Man, like you've seen everything. You've seen
the advisor to how many
and
presidents?
then like the last special that he did, he had like Flyleaf, who is like an awesome Christian band, and Lecrae, and like,
he did that.
He embraced
every generation.
Yeah, man, he embraced every generation, and I think that's what's crazy. Like, and like the people that look up to Billy Graham so much, like they don't. A lot of times they don't possess that.
They should exemplify that a little more.
Man, like, and that's who I would pick, man.
Right on.
Just because he's seen so much, man.
Right on.
Man, he's seen so much.
Yeah.
Excellent answer.
Okay, if you had to place yourself in a pocket of hip hop, who would you tell people you kind of resemble? You sound like. I know that question stinks. Nobody likes it, but because you got your own style, we understand that.
And I think this area and the people that I work with gives a Western North Carolina sound, and I don't even know how to explain it, but like content wise, like KB,
okay,
Andy Mineo, Lecrae, all the guys from Reach Records, and then you got like Dayton and Eshawn Burgundy and Bizzle and Gemstones, and like I could just go on all these guys' content is just like that's where my heart's at. Like we on the same page. Like even they don't know me and I don't know them, and I've never done a show with them or like been on the same card as them or nothing like that. But like those guys' content, Seven, and man, I know I'm leaving a bunch of people out, but like their content is like they found Christ and like it changed their life. And
so you're saying lyrically you're very much like them?
Yeah, I'm very much like them, but like
what about
those
sonically?
Are sonically?
Yeah.
Sonically. Let's see.
I'm on Reach Records website right now.
Awesome.
And the first article or the first title is Lecrae, is it X or 10? Let the trap say amen.
Yeah. That's the name. That's Zaytoven. That's the one I was telling you about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that sonically would be close to KB.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with hip hop, or if you're not as familiar with Christian hip hop in particular, check out Billy James first.
Yeah.
And then maybe listen to
KB. Yeah, I'm sure if you click like through a whole bunch of videos after hitting his, it's at some point may pop up mine.
Yeah, right on. You just gotta hang with it. Like
just like 45 clicks later.
Yeah, no, we'll make it more.
I'm on their website right now, and I like the art design, so that's a win for me.
Yeah.
And the last question is, everybody gets asked this one.
Man.
What is your favorite taco and where is it from?
Man, it's from the burrito, but what you mean?
Mountain burrito.
It's from the burrito. Yeah. But on my taco, I like steak.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very simple. But I just like...
I got a hack for you.
Lettuce and tomato.
I got a hack for you.
Like a life hack?
When you get the steak there,
they
have, the barbecue sauce that they use like a barbecue sauce for the steak. You can get them to put extra sauce on it for you.
Wow.
I've been getting steak tacos for years and didn't know
but you have to be specific. Everybody's gonna be like asking for this, and Tori's gonna yell at me a mountain burrito, but that does exist. You can ask for some like that extra barbecue sauce.
Sure.
It is killer.
I love mountain burrito, but yeah, steak and just lettuce and tomato and like whatever sauce, whatever hot sauce I want.
Right on.
I'm super simple.
That's good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Dude, Brian Drake has created.
I mean, this is basically his podcast.
This is basically what we're saying is
what
Brian.
we're saying is
Brian
thanks, Brian.
Is the unofficial sponsor.
Welcome
to the Bomb.
What I'm saying is,
listen,
thanks, Brian.
If it's good, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, man.
Period. I don't give a rip.
No.
Yeah, man.
If it's good,
That was a Christian cuss. You hear that?
I don't give a rip.
well, I have to
give
be
a rip.
careful.
He meant it.
Yeah. It's even biblical. Like ripping clothes.
Like right now, I'm addicted to Coke Zero. Right now,
You should
I
never
was at
be
a brewery
addicted to
festival.
Coke.
I was at a beer festival a couple of weeks ago. There was a band in town, and they were like, "Hey, man, are you into this stuff?" I'm like, "No,
Nah.
I'm into like Coke Zero."
Yeah,
if there was a Coke Zero festival, I would be all about the Coke Zero festival.
It'd be great.
Coke
But,
Zero is just Diet Coke for dudes because it's
But
got
it's
a black
sweeter.
label.
It's sweeter. Bro.
Yeah, it
it's
is, man.
sweeter than
It
Diet Coke. I don't care what you say. I will fight you.
I like regular Coke.
I
Hey, have you ever been to the Coke factory in
No,
Atlanta?
no.
Super awesome. Took my kids. They really
Only
didn't
time
like
we
it
go
too
to
much.
Atlanta, we go to Atlanta to see the Falcons because my son's a huge Falcons fan. So we'll go.
Does he do the Dirty Bird dance?
No, he watches the games quietly,
Mm.
but inside he's like dirty
Yeah,
bird. He's dancing,
doing
for
like
sure.
Dion.
He's a calculator.
Well, I do send him funny stuff. I found a Randy Moss video from when he was on the the Vikings.
Right.
Probably my favorite wide receiver in the NFL in the last 30 years. And, you know, if you ever watch ESPN, there's a show called Most. Is it ESPN Most?
Yeah, it's a segment.
It's a segment,
yeah.
right? Because he burned everybody.
Yeah.
And there's one where he got into quadruple coverage against the Falcons.
It don't matter. I'm
and
going over
friggin'
you.
It just went over them.
You know why?
I sent him that video. He was like, Dad.
You know why? Because he was a basketball player.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what I used to do to people on the field.
Well, they do say LeBron. Like if LeBron ever went to football, I think they
He
say
would be amazing, bro.
A tight end, though, right?
Bro,
Like
he could play whatever he wanted to. He's 260, maybe more than that.
yeah, he's
now.
a crazy athlete.
6'8".
We saw him when
Play
he
where
was.
you want.
I think he was with. I can't remember what team he was with. He was either with the Heat. I think he was with the Heat at the time, but we saw him in Charlotte.
Wow.
Took my son, and he. In the fourth quarter of that game, he just took the game over and they won the game. Like it was like he was just sitting there waiting, and then fourth quarter came and
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
man.
shoot this on you.
yeah, it was crazy. So
Speaking
any more?
of heat,
All right. Oh yeah.
starting to get toasty up in here.
Oh, it is. Any more questions?
Oh,
Any more
yeah.
questions for Billy?
Nah, man. The only question I have is going to be in 5 weeks when he has like 20 gigs from this show.
Yeah,
oh
man.
yeah, we'll keep.
He gonna
up.
be like, "Where's my check, man?"
We need our management rate 12.8%.
It just shot out the roof.
Jimmy, where can we find you?
Of course, you can find me at jimmyatkinsmusic.com. You can
Doing stuff with beards.
doing
Beard
stuff
Man.
with beards at ruddymanbeard.com.
Yes.
Or you can even check out my band,
I love it.
rootedband.com.
Still think we need to collab.
Oh yeah, no,
Heck
that'd
yeah,
be
man.
interesting. So,
I mean, I'll do it.
so
Don't
for
say I
our
won't.
audience,
Yeah.
check us out on bombhousepodcast.com, Facebook, Welcome to the Bombhouse Podcast. We do have an Instagram. Keep us up. We mostly use our Facebook page,
Yep.
and we use our personal page for more info. We do have some interesting episodes coming up soon. I can't wait for you guys to hear them. We
Yeah,
are
man.
going to do a live band episode again soon. That was a fun stream. We may do some more streams in the fall season.
I think we ought to.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. It was
Stream
really
it.
fun to do. It was really fun. Maybe we can bring you in, Billy.
Heck yeah.
Stream it and do it. But we
Right
do
on.
love you guys. If you have any questions, comments, please hit us up. And that's it. Anything else?
Nah, man. I love all y'all.
Billy James loves you.
I love all of them. Billy James loves you. I love Billy James.
Take that to the bank.
Cash it.
And right now, Billy James is playing on this outro. Right now. Right now, he's playing. You're listening to him. He's talking to you and rapping to you at the same time. Peace out.
Bye.
From border to border, but know that this Carolina to the death. I need a session from Bomb House. Heard him say it under breath. Christian dudes with a mean swag, but we walk around like this Jericho. Laying down that adios, and no smoking in my studio. Sound coming through the stereo. How you feeling shook? Vertigo. All of this confidence dripping finesse, hitting notes and falsetto. We love tacos, so let Ricky do his thing pronto. Finish the session today, he gon' hit you with the mix tomorrow. Produce, record, mix, master it. Sounding so dope that it gets your past a lit. Hit after hit after hit after hit, hit after hit. Lickety split. What's that smell? Apple cinnamon. Ready man big, got it from Jimmy Jam. Grab the pen again, let me hear it back again. 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 Yeah, yeah. Let me hear it back again.